Princess Eliana lived in a magnificent palace surrounded by glowing flower gardens, sparkling fountains, and tall silver mountains. She was the most beautiful princess in the kingdom. Her golden hair shined like sunlight, and her blue eyes sparkled like stars in the night sky. But there was one thing very strange about the princess. Princess Eliana had never smiled. Not once. Not when she received beautiful toys. Not during grand celebrations. Not even on her birthdays. The king and queen tried everything to make their daughter happy. Funny clowns performed silly tricks. Magicians filled the sky with colorful fireworks. Musicians played cheerful songs across the palace halls. But Princess Eliana always remained quiet and serious. As the years passed, sadness slowly spread throughout the kingdom. If the princess is unhappy, the people whispered, how can the kingdom truly be happy? One day, the worried king made an important royal announcement. Whoever can make Princess Eliana smile, he declared, will receive a mountain of gold and one special wish. Soon, visitors from all over the world came to the palace. A famous comedian told funny jokes. Acrobats flipped through the air. Magicians performed incredible spells. But the princess never smiled. Days passed, then weeks. The palace became quieter and quieter, until one rainy evening, a poor village boy named Leo arrived at the palace gates. He wore worn brown boots, a patched green coat, and carried a tiny wooden flute hanging from his shoulder. The guards laughed loudly. You? One guard asked. You think you can make the princess smile? Leo smiled nervously. I don't know, he said softly, but maybe she's just lonely. The guards stopped laughing. No one had ever said that before. Curious, the king allowed the boy inside the palace. The grand royal hall glowed with giant chandeliers as Leo stepped toward the princess. Hundreds of nobles watched silently. Princess Eliana looked down at him with the same calm expression she always wore. Leo bowed awkwardly. Then suddenly, his wooden flute slipped from his hands, bounced down the royal stairs, and landed directly inside the king's giant cream cake. The entire hall froze. Leo gasped in horror. As he rushed to grab the flute, he slipped on frosting and accidentally pulled the giant tablecloth with him. Cakes, pies, fruits, and puddings flew everywhere. A pie landed on the royal dog. The dog barked loudly and chased a chicken across the hall. Nobles screamed and jumped onto chairs. The king looked completely shocked. A tiny sound escaped from the princess. Heh! Everyone turned toward her. Princess Eliana quickly covered her mouth. But Leo looked so funny standing there covered in cream with a strawberry stuck on his head that suddenly, the princess burst into laughter. Real laughter. Right? Beautiful. The entire kingdom seemed to stop. The queen cried tears of joy. The king laughed louder than anyone. The musicians immediately began playing cheerful music. Outside the palace, bells rang across the city. The princess smiled. The princess smiled. People danced in the streets. Children cheered happily. Flowers filled the air. Princess Eliana could barely stop laughing. When the room finally became quiet again, she looked at Leo and softly asked, "Why were you not afraid of looking silly?" Leo smiled kindly. Because making someone happy is more important than looking perfect. For the first time in her life, the princess felt true happiness inside her heart. Not because of gold, not because of magic, but because of kindness, honesty, and laughter. From that day forward, Princess Eliana changed completely. She walked through the villages helping the poor. She played games with children in the palace gardens. She laughed during festivals beneath glowing lanterns. And every evening, Leo played his little wooden flute beside the palace fountain while the princess smiled beside him under the sparkling stars. From that day on, the kingdom became known as the Land of Smiles. Moral of the story: true happiness comes from kindness, honesty, and sharing joyful moments with others.